Stocks climb up after the dip in the last session, with mid-caps leading the charge today. Utilities and energy lead the gains, while IT is the soft spot in the market.
Power Grid ups its FY25 capex guidance to 18,000 crore from 15,000 crore earlier and charts an aggressive path ahead. NTPC, on the other hand, stays on track to add 26 gigawatt by 2032 and list its green business and eyes double-digit profit growth ahead. Both stocks are jumping in today's session.
Colgate-Palmolive India regains its sparkle, with toothpaste volume growth far exceeding the expectations on the back of a pickup in rural demand, and profitability too seeing an improvement. The stock shines today.
BPCL and CESC leap after Group Chief Sanjeev Goenka lays out the growth path ahead in an exclusive interaction with CNBC-TV18. But a weak performance hurts Idea Forge Technologies, while a strong show powers up Jindal SAW.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his post-budget CII meet pledges that India will become the third largest economy in the world in his third term. He calls on India Inc. to work with the government towards a Vikasit Bharat. Hello and welcome. You've tuned into Business Lunch. I'm Nisha, and with me as always is Hormaz. So the market is good today, and it's the 25,000 levels waiting that has been on, Hormaz. But let's take a look at the market at lunch hour at this point. And Nifty 50 with almost 0.4% gain at this particular moment at 24,930 levels. So many times it's flirted with the 25,000 levels that even the market participants are now just relaxing and just booking profits in some of the categories as well. But overall, it's a green screen today with gains of over 300 points on Sensex and Bank Nifty. That one is clearly showing a slight outperformance to the key indices, 0.6% up, and mid-caps continue to gain and 0.5% up in trade. So the market picture, as well as the advanced decline ratio in terms of the market breadth and the strength, looks stable today. BPCL from yesterday, today again is the top Nifty gainer. Along with that, some of the other PSUs like Power Grid, NTPC, these are the ones from the PSU basket which are looking good. And some of the heavyweights like HDFC Bank is also performing very well. Hindustan Unilever, Maruti. So it's a broad-based gain that we are seeing. On the flip side, Ultratech, Cipla, Hindalco, Grasim, some of the Aditya Birla Group companies are the top losers on Nifty 50, Hormaz.
The wait continues for 25,000. We made a high of 24,960 in today's session just a few minutes ago, and we've cooled off slightly from those levels. What's doing well in today's session? Autos are doing well. The auto index is up. The broader markets continue to do well. The mid-cap index is up 0.5%. The small-cap index has done one better. It's almost up close to 1% now in today's session. The support, though, not coming in from IT. The IT index is down. The metal index is down, and support not coming in from PSU banks as well. But there are plenty of earnings reactions that are coming in. Varun Beverages, we just spoke to the management a few minutes ago, and that stock is down around 5% in today's session. But mind you, that stock has been a doubler in the last 12 months. So some bit of profit booking coming in at higher levels. 5.5% lower is Varun Beverages. And another casualty of the day today is Idea Forge. The numbers on the disappointing side, the stock seeing double-digit losses in today's session. Around 10% lower on last check for Idea Forge, and there you can see now 11.5% higher. Extending the losses is Idea Forge. So earnings reactions both on the good side and on the not so good side as well, but the broader market's doing well, Nisha.
That's right. And also the markets have been very, very sensitive about the earnings picture and have been really giving that impact as well. So let's begin Business Lunch by focusing on two of the stocks, and these are coming in from the PSU basket. NTPC as well as Power Grid are surging post the positive commentary coming in at their analyst meets. In fact, our colleague Vivek Iyer is right here to get us the key takeaways and what it means for the counters. Tell us, Vivek.
Well, good afternoon. Like you rightly mentioned, remember both of the companies actually declared their results Power Grid on Friday, NTPC over the weekend. Yesterday, the companies actually had their analyst meet. In terms of operational performance, NTPC was very strong, Power Grid was subdued. But today, both the stocks are doing well. This is after the kind of guidance that both the managements have given, analysts after the analyst meet that they conducted yesterday. First, let's look at what NTPC had to say. Now, remember, India plans to add close to 80 gigawatt of thermal power by 2032. Of which NTPC will be adding close to 26 gigawatt itself. The planned capex till 2032 is close to 7 trillion rupees. Within that, the renewable energy capacity addition is close to 60 gigawatt. Now, along with that, the company also says in FY25, the targeted commissioning in thermal is close to 2 to 2.5 gigawatt, and pumped hydro is going to be close to 1 gigawatt. Now, along with that, the regulated equity that the company is targeting is set to see double-digit growth over the next few years. No wonder then brokerages came back quite enthused. Jefferies raised the target price to 485. CLSA retained its outperform rating with a target price of close to 441. Now, on the other hand, Power Grid, operationally slightly muted set of numbers, but look at the capex as well as the capitalization guidance that the company has given. In fact, it's now made a habit to go ahead and beat its own guidance quite strongly. FY24, remember, they had given a guidance of 8,800. They made it 12,500 at the end of the year. FY25 capex guidance, they had a guidance of close to 15,000 crore at the end of Q4. Now they are confident of doing it of over 18,000 crore. FY26, FY27, the numbers that they've given are in excess of 25,000 and 30,000 crore respectively. In terms of capitalization guidance, the guidance given by the company is close to 18,000 crore versus the earlier guidance of close to 15 to 16,000 crore. Capex, capitalization guidance increased by Power Grid, and this is something that the street is taking quite a lot of positive cues from.
All right, Vivek, thanks so much for giving us the exhaustive details on both these counters, which are doing very well in anticipation of positive guidance for the future post their numbers. Now, post the recent, remember, tax changes that were announced by the finance minister in the union budget, well, the companies have rushed to the Lal Street with buybacks of their own. In fact, Hormaz is right here to take us through what has happened so far and what may happen going forward. That sounds like a suspense story, Hormaz. So we know that buybacks are going to be taxed as dividends in the hands of the people getting it. So how does it change the scenario? And of course, 1st August is the date. So give us the details.
There is a sudden rush of buybacks on Dalal Street. Now, call it a coincidence or just an action reaction. As many as 7 buyback proposals have either been announced or are to be announced in the next few days. Now, there may be a trigger behind this rush as well. Now, the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, in her budget speech last week, which is on the 23rd of July, proposed that the income received via share buybacks will now be taxed at the hands of the shareholder instead of the company. Now, similar to how dividends are taxed. Now, some market participants were worried that such a move may be counterproductive for the industry and the concept of the buyback altogether. Now, let's take a look at some of the upcoming announcements. Indus Towers' board meets as early as today. Now, this will be their first buyback in 8 years. Now, TTK Prestige today announced that they will consider a buyback proposal on the 2nd of August. Savita Oil will consider its buyback proposal on the 3rd of August, Serra on the 5th, and AIA Engineering on the 7th of August. Aurobindo Pharma, whose buyback was approved before the budget announcement, has its record date today, which is the 30th of July. Now, Welspun Living also announced its share buyback last week, and that record date has also been fixed as the 5th of August. Now, this sudden rush of buybacks has put the spotlight on India's IT companies who are regular executors of share buybacks to announce to reward their shareholders. Now, the SEBI regulation mandates that there is a need to have a cool-off period of at least 365 days between 2 buybacks. Now, let's take a look at how these IT companies are placed as of date. TCS, which is India's largest IT services company, carried out a buyback as early as last year. Now, can it announce another one before the 1st of October when the changes take place? No, it can't. And that is because the board approval for the previous buyback came in on the 20th of October, which means that it will have to wait until at least 20th of October 2024 to seek board approval for another buyback. Now, Infosys carried out a buyback last year as well, but unlike TCS, it is eligible to carry out a new one as its previous one ended in February of last year, meaning that the 12-month cool-off period has passed. Now, HCL Tech has not carried out a buyback since 2018, so it can do so now if it needs to. Wipro too is eligible for announcing a share buyback as the previous one closed in June of last year. Tech Mahindra has also not done a buyback in 5 years, and LTI Mindtree has not done a buyback to begin with. So these two companies are also eligible for the same. Now, besides these IT companies, there are many on Dalal Street that have regularly carried out share buybacks. Now, I'm highlighting 3 of them here. Ajanta Pharma is the first one. Now, in the last 5 years, the company has carried out buybacks in 2019, 22, 23 and this year as well. But it cannot announce a new buyback because the board approval for the same came in May, and it will now have to wait until May of next year to announce another buyback. IndiaMart is the second one, and that company has also regularly rewarded shareholders either via bonus shares, stock splits or buybacks. And now that company has also done buybacks in 22 and 23, and the board approval for the last buyback came in on July the 20th of 2023, which means that the company is now eligible for announcing another buyback. And lastly, with Aarti Drugs, which has carried out buybacks on 5 instances, at least in the recent past, with 16, 18, 19, 21 and 23. Similar to IndiaMart, they also got the board approval on the 21st of July, making them eligible for a fresh buyback as well. So this is summarizing the recent spate of buybacks on Dalal Street. Now it remains to be seen whether more companies join this buyback bandwagon.
Thanks so much, Hormas, for getting us the entire list of companies which could be aspirants of the buyback before the effective date of the budget changes really kick in. You spoke about Indus Towers. That stock is running up in trade. In fact, it has been benefiting from the telecom sector also getting repaired. Keep that on your radar. And with that, we'll slip into a short breather. But when we return, we'll get you the latest on the major landslides triggered in Kerala's Wayanad. Stay tuned for more details on this national update in a minute.
Back with us here on Business Lunch, and heavy rains have spurred landslides in the district of Wayanad in the southern state of Kerala, leading to 54 deaths and leaving several others injured. Now, CNN News 18's Neetu now joins us from Kerala with more updates.
A terrible tragedy has happened in Wayanad districts where 2 landslides occurred in the early morning, which has taken the lives of at least 44 people. More than 70 are injured and in various hospitals. About 250 people have been rescued so far in these 2 areas. The biggest issue that the rescue workers are facing is that in one of the areas, which is the Mundakai area where the landslide has happened, the rescue workers have not yet been able to reach there. A bridge leading to that way, to that village, has completely been washed away. Rescue workers are trying to reach there. The State Government Minister MB Rajesh has said that they have almost reached that area. The government has sought air support from the Navy. Army support has been sought in this area. What we understand from government sources as well as on the ground is that these numbers are likely to rise. The numbers of the death toll are likely to rise because many people are still stuck under the debris. Hundreds of people are still stuck there is what we are understanding. In this one village alone, there are hundreds of families that are living there, which has been completely cut off now. So only once the rescue workers reach there will be able to assess the situation and how bad the situation is right now. About 150 people has been rescued from that nearby Mepadi area, and they are in a resort there. Last night, due to heavy rains, as the water levels have risen, they were brought there. That in that resort area, people have been telling us that there are at least on top of about 40 houses, a landslide when it happened, the debris has fallen. They have not been able to go there and check out. To many people who are in the Mundakai area, when we are trying to reach them, it is unable to reach them. So this is where the rescue operations are standing at the moment. Wayanad is a hilly terrain. The topography is such that it will be difficult. So, but the government has been doing all possible measures to maximize the rescue efforts and to rescue people at the earliest. Their coordinated efforts are being done to rescue as many lives as possible.
All right, rescue operations going on in Wayanad. Thanks, Neetu, for giving us that on-ground report on the operations there. And in the news updates from the north coming in, at least 2 people have been killed and more than 20 injured after 18 coaches of a Howrah to Mumbai mail train derailed in Jharkhand early today morning. Now, the accident happened after the train collided with a goods train, and following the accident, the Indian Railway cancelled 5 trains that use the same route. Now, the Southeastern Railway also arranged special bus services to transport the passengers from the derailment site and has paid 50,000 rupees each to 4 injured passengers. So those operations are also on at the moment.
And in news just coming in from Paris, another bronze medal coming in for India. Manu Bhakar and Sarabjot Singh have won bronze in the mixed 10-meter air pistol mixed team events, and that is India's second medal coming in, and the second medal for Manu Bhakar as well. Remember, she opened India's account over the weekend, winning the bronze medal in the 10-meter air pistol event, in the individual event for women as well. So good news coming in for Paris. But time for a short break on Business Lunch. More news and updates continue on the other side.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch. Let's now put our focus on the primary market. There has been a lot of action and a very strong pipeline in the IPO market. Aams Drugs and Pharmaceuticals initial public offer has opened today and will close subscription on 1st of August. And Ekta Batra is right here with all the details of this IPO. Ekta, tell us.
Well, yes, Aams is in focus because the IPO opens today. It is the largest CDMO serving the Indian pharmaceutical industry. It gets around 78% of its sales from the CDMO business and 95% of its EBITDA from CDMO. It, in fact, has 30% of share by value in the Indian market when it comes to the CDMO business. Now, branded and generic formulations is around 16.7% of sales. API is smaller at around 5% of sales. Now, as of FY24, 1,524 clients, over 4,000 formulations manufactured by them across 60 dosage forms. Majority of their sales are from the domestic markets, exports around 17% of their sales. Price band for this IPO is 646 to 679 rupees. Issue size is up to around 1,857 odd crores. Fresh issue 680 odd crores. OFS of up to around 1,176 odd crores. Post issue market cap is around 10,200 odd crores to around 10,687 odd crores. Funds from this IPO will be used to repay debt. So over around 380 odd crores will go into repayment of debt, and the remaining for general corporate purposes. The company's already raised around 828 crores from anchor investors. Now, in terms of the comparison, if you look at it in terms of peers, the adjusted EBITDA for Aams is around 12.2% in terms of margins. It's done FY24 revenues of around 4,178 odd crores. The margins even on an adjusted basis are lower than its peers such as Divi, Suven, which are much larger than the company in terms of market cap, but even Innova CapTab, where the margins were around 15.3%. Now, in terms of a FY24 market cap to sales, Aams is around 2.4 to 2.5 times, and Innova CapTab is at around 3.4 times. And in terms of a PE on an adjusted basis, Aams is at around 28 to 29 times FY24 trailing, Innova CapTab 34 times, so it's at a discount as compared to a couple of its peers.
IPOs are back, and we hope for a strong pipeline in the second half. Ekta, thanks a lot for that. And that is a wrap on this edition of Business Lunch from Nisha, me, and the team that put this show together. Thank you so much for watching. Midcap Radar up next.